What's up, guys? Hope you guys are doing well. And it was a good trading week, man. I am in replay mode on TradingView right now, but first I want to go over what I made this week on my funded account with TPT. I have a 50K pro account, and I ended up making around $1,600 this week on that account, which is awesome. I started this week pretty much right at break even. I was actually a little bit under break even on the account, so a little bit under 50K is what we started the week with, and then it ended the week with just around $1,600, which is amazing. We still have to get to that $2,100 for the buffer, and then anything after that, daily payouts, baby. So looking really good. And this week, man, it taught me a lot about patience, and I'm going to go over some of the trades that I took this week, especially the one I took today, this morning, which is the one you're looking at now. But first, you guys know that this channel is 100% based on transparency. I try and be as transparent as possible with you guys. No faking anything. When you guys get a payout, when I get a payout, you guys will know because I'm probably going to make a video on it, requesting the payout, seeing screenshots and everything of when the money hits my bank account, like everything like that. I'm going to show you guys in full. So I am on my TPT dashboard on my phone right now. I'm going to show you guys, and it's going to say around $5,100.91. So I hope you guys can see that. That's for the current account balance. I hope that this lighting isn't like absolutely horrendous and you can actually see what it says right there. Hopefully, if I can figure out how to tilt it right, you'll be able to see account balance, and you'll see that $5,100.91. Now, you're like, you said it was $1,600, and that's only like $1,000 or almost $1,100 profit. Well, if you guys don't know, your dashboard in TPT updates after PM session is over. So like basically the start of every like Asian session of the new night in the evening Asian session, once that starts, that is when your days and TPT restarts. So then their balance reflecting the trade I took this morning from New York session, it basically takes like half of a day to load up. So what I will show you guys is if I go to my trading view on my phone, I can show you guys that this morning I had a profit of about it was like $570 ish. It should say around $1,600 and then around $570 profit. I'm just covering my my actual account name, but you guys should be able to see that it's around $1,600 profit now because we had that trade this morning for $570 profit, which is awesome. Basically a 1 to 2 risk reward. I risked about $300, so great week, man. $1,600. I am very happy with that. And the goal this whole time with this funded account was to take it slow and, treat it as if it was my live account. And that's basically what I'm doing because the money is going to be very real coming up here soon. And that is when I'm going to be able to take daily payouts from this account, which is awesome. So anyways, enough of that. Once I get... Let's see, at this point, I just need $500 more, and that'll be my buffer. Anything after that, daily payouts, man. So next week, I'm hoping to get that payout, and I will make a video on it. Subscribe if you want to continue seeing this journey. My goal is to make this, make this kind of like a series, trading this account, and then what I'm going to do with the profits once I get some payouts from this account. Getting new accounts, scaling, things like that. Then it's going to get serious. So anyways... let's get into the trade I took this morning. We're on Friday the 7th right now, August 7th. And if you guys don't know, if you didn't trade AM session, it was pretty choppy. As you can see here, there's a lot of chop. I mean, there's some movement, but still pretty choppy. But what do you notice here? This is the VWAP. And VWAP is something I've incorporated pretty heavily into my trading regime, my trading strategy. So we come below VWAP, then we end up coming back up. We don't make any all-time high. We don't make new highs here, but we kind of test around these highs right here, relative equal highs, you could call them. Then we come down, we bounce right off the VWAP. We come back down again, we bounce off again. We don't even tap at that time. We take off, and this is when I enter the trade. But do I just enter off of that? Absolutely not, because that is not enough confluence. Just one VWAP touch, and this little bullish trend, that is not going to be enough to get me in the trade. But As you guys know, I've been trading volume profile, and what does that give us once these load up? You can see here there is a ton of stacked confluences here. We have the PDH, what is that? The previous day high. We have orb low. We have the 10 o'clock open, the 8:30 open. All of these, this is like 4 confluences stacked in one because it is, think about an area where volume is heavily traded. Now it's either going to bounce off of that or it's going to bounce below it and tank further down. But what did it do? It keeps bouncing off of it and using it as a support zone. So what do? We see that it takes off here. We enter the trade right here, and I believe this was also a gap, if I'm not mistaken, on the 5-minute time frame. There was something else here as well. Yep, look at that. Perfect VWAP touch on the VWAP touch on the 5-minute time frame, and then also a 5-minute gap that we just pushed right back into. VWAP, all of these confluences right here. Boom, I have enough to take the trade. As soon as we came down, we made this bearish doji here. We tapped this VWAP and bounced off of it. Then we have this bullish candle. That is where my entry was. And you can see it almost came back and got me. It was very close to coming back and getting my stop, but I kept my stop under VWAP. As you can see here, missed it by a couple points, and it never came back to retest it. Boom. Ended up taking it, and what was my draw on liquidity? One, it was kind of these highs right here. I was looking for these equal highs, as well as we have right here. It's kind of hard to see because it's yellow, but you have the orb high here as well. I need to change the color on that so you guys can see it a little bit better, but I will try and work on that for the next video, changing some of these levels so you guys can see it well. But as you can see, man, that volume profile, when there's a stack of confluences at a certain level, you guys will see that is a high confluence area, a higher probability area to trade. And so even though we had some choppiness today, I was still able to find this trade, and I just wanted a 1 to 2. I even thought about holding it. I'm like, you know what if I just try and hold this, and maybe it's one of those NASDAQ Friday runners that just run up, because it will do that. The NASDAQ can either run up or tank on Fridays, but it ended up running up to here, and then it kind of chopped around. If I exit replay mode, then you will be able to see that, we took this, then we came all the way back down, and then we chopped around. Now we're back up right here, just in this range this whole entire day. So happy I just took the 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio and got out of there, got my profit clean. So that was that was one trade I took this week, and that was for $600. Now, what other trades did I take? Let's check it out. Alrighty, now this is Wednesday Asia session. Now I pretty much usually only trade Asia session. I can only trade New York very rarely when I do have a chance to at work, but usually it's just Asia session because that's the evening after I'm back home from work, and so that's the only time I can really trade and look at the charts. Now this was more of a 15-minute continuation trade along with a lower time frame VWAP touch and rejection. So what do we see here? We see the VWAP here. This is the 1 minute time frame, which is usually my entry time frame, either the 1 minute or the 5 minute. So we have a huge rejection from the VWAP right here, and this is actually where I take the trade. There's also a gap right here that, if you extend this gap, you'll know that, we're still in that gap and respecting it, immediately rejecting that VWAP. And with momentum, the momentum of these candles plays a huge role into if you want to trigger a trade or not. For me, I'm not entering just off of that alone. If we go to the 15-minute time frame, like I mentioned, this was more of a 15-minute continuation trade. So here's a big 15-minute gap, and we came up well into the center of this gap, or CTE, whatever you want to call it. You come into the middle of this gap, and then we're tanking below it, and I missed this initial entry. This would have been a nice continuation even if I caught it higher up, but I didn't, so I looked further down here. Once I saw the 15-minute continuation was playing out, now I'm looking for entries. We have the VWAP touch and rejection off of another 1 minute gap, lower time frame gap, and boom, I get my entry, and I'm looking for around a 1 to 4 on this one. Now I did take some partials at a 1 to 2, and then I ended up taking, once we took out right here this previous day value area low, going back to this volume profile levels, I'm telling you, they freaking hit. It's crazy. I looked for a scale out there. I took off half my position there, and then boom, the rest came out right at a 1 to 4, which was amazing, man. And that was my Asia trade session for Wednesday, and this one netted me, I think, 800, something like that. This was a banger because obviously it's a lot higher risk to reward trade. Like this morning, it was just a 1 to 8, a 1 to 2 this morning, not a 1 to 8. That'd be crazy. A 1 to 2, and then on Wednesday a 1 to 4. So really good week stacking up here. And I think I had one more trade on Monday. So let's see. All right, this was Monday night trade. Monday during Asia session, my trade on NQ right here. And as you can see, Monday morning AM, we had a massive run up. If you guys traded this week, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, a huge run up. And we are so bullish here, but that left a ton of gaps below. So something that I was kind of looking for immediately that I knew off the bat, like going into the session, was for us to look for some kind of pullback into, somewhere, finding a launch pad to launch higher, most likely. That is what I was thinking about. That is what I was looking for. I thought it was even going to come a little bit lower, like down here. Maybe come tap this as a resistance zone along with this gap and then fly up. This is the 15-minute time frame. So now that we're down to the 1-minute time frame, again, this is Monday night Asia session. So this is where that trade, I was looking for some kind of pullback into these lower 15-minute gaps down below. And we did get a little bit of a pullback, and I ended up, this was partials. I took partials around 60 points. I left some more running that ended up hitting break even, so that's how it goes sometimes. I'm glad I took partials because guess what? I locked in profits for that night to start the week off good. So what made me really enter besides just looking for price to go down to gaps, because that is not enough confluence, obviously. So what I see here is price tanking below VWAP and staying below VWAP. Now, on the 5-minute time frame, I think we might have had a retest on the 5-minute, if I'm not mistaken. No, it didn't even come back until later. It just tanked with momentum. Earlier, I mentioned momentum on that other trade, and that is something that I really look for on the 1-minute, the 5-minute time frame. If you start rejecting with momentum, like look at this, we get below VWAP, boom, big bearish candle. That tells me something that we're most likely going to keep going lower. Or if it were to bounce off and reject, boom, big bullish candle, okay, we're probably going to reject and stay above VWAP, so we might be looking for a long trade setup. But that is not all. Another thing that we come through, we bounce through this level here, which is the daily POC. So we kind of dancing around it, right? But we end up tanking below it, sort of retesting it right here on this little candle, and that is where I got in. Boom, we retest it, come back down, got in. Ended up taking 60 points, and I was looking for, my draws lower were those 15-minute fair value gaps. That is where I was looking for price to take, but 60 points in Asia session is already a pretty dang good sized trade. So I'm not looking like for New York session you can hold trades a lot longer usually. Price will run further. Asia session, sometimes it kind of just runs out of steam and will end up turning around on you, which guess what? It did here. And so I ended up taking partials, half of my position, and then the other half hit break even. That's how it is sometimes, and that's just how it went on this trade. So those are the trades I took this week. I know those were like, I didn't write a script for this or anything like that. It was just off the dome. Patience in your entries is huge, and that's what it took this week. Because there were many trades, that I started looking at earlier, but when you're looking at this, do not try and trade this, man. This is like hyper scalping type of territory, and that is not something that I'm into. I'm looking to hold for a little bit longer and have a little bit larger stop, and just catch these nice risk to reward trades, 2 to 3 risk to reward trades. That is what I'm really looking for. 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 4, which ended up hitting this week on that Wednesday trade, which is amazing. But guess what? Those other days, Tuesday, I don't think I traded Tuesday, or maybe I hit a break even on Tuesday, and then Thursday I didn't trade. So that's how it goes, man. Sometimes you're not going to trade every day, but if you're patient, you can be consistent in this game, and that's what I showed you guys and showed myself, proved myself this week. I made $1,600 on the charts this week, and if you guys know of nothing about volume profile, those trade breakdowns are probably like, what the heck is this guy even talking about? Probably pretty confusing. Go back and check out some of my other videos I have on volume profile as well. But I don't have any like in-depth videos on volume profile. I'm still, testing it and, figuring it out myself even. So it's not 100% set in stone for me yet. I'm still learning a lot about it, but I do know 100% that these levels are something to think about, and they're very important levels along with VWAP and structure, fair value gaps. I mean, there's many things that go into this, many confluences, man. The more confluences you have to take a trade, the higher probability it's going to play out. So if you are trying to take all these trades in a day off of 1 or 2 confluences and then you just can't find your good win rate, start being more patient, looking for higher confluence zones with multiple levels, multiple things in one area that would make price reject or continue in your direction that you're thinking about. You need to look for confluence. Confluence is king, and I'm telling you, in this game, if you're just trying to take trades willy-nilly just off of, you see some good momentum here, let's take a trade, you're not going to be in it for the long haul. The longevity is not going to last, I'm telling you guys. So be looking out for a video from me next week showing payouts, because that is the goal, man. I'm hoping to get a payout next week. That'd be awesome. But if the cards don't fall and I don't get a payout, I'll show you guys what happens either way. So subscribe up, like the video if you guys did enjoy it. I'd really appreciate it. Check out the rest of the channel, see if there's anything else that that interests you, and if it does and you want to continue following along the journey, I'd really appreciate it, and consider subscribing. Also check out my Instagram, same T_Profitz with a Z, and I post my trades on there as well. So check out my Instagram story if you guys don't believe me or whatever. I don't know why you wouldn't, because I've showed you guys screenshots today of my TPT account, and how it's 1,600 in profit right now. So believe what you want, but my goal again is complete transparency on this channel. If you follow me on Insta, I will show you guys those trades that I take throughout the week, wins or losses. I show both of them on there. I show break evens, I show trades that I drew up but didn't take, I show everything, and I try and explain a little bit sometimes, or even sometimes to make shorts or like Instagram reels on actual trade breakdowns. So follow me up there as well. But I appreciate you guys. Let me know how your trading week went, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.